Interesting story. Just to touch a little bit on like the nepotism, right? So like one of the retreats, there was, and this kind of like got phased out a little bit, but once you got away from the militarized retreats, but there was always like factions. So it was always like New York versus like the Cali guys versus the South Carolina guy. Everybody had like their own little groups, and there was like the Canada guys. So one of the retreats, the Canada guys all came. So you have Hassan, Hussein, Abu Bakr, you have Hafiz Isa, and all of them. They all came down, and it was some reason everybody was saying like how they were so holy, and I didn't get it. Like I'm outside the loop, so I don't even know who these guys are. But some where basically we also started like wrestling, like play fighting, just wrestling to see who could get the better out of. And me, my brother, and our crew, we could actually fight. So we're like housing these guys. It was just play fighting, like not in the serious. And I was holding down K2. I think his brother was getting tussled up by some other guys from New York. And I remember we got in trouble, and we were told that we can't do that to them because we would knock the Holy Quran out of them or something like that. And I was like, wait a minute, what? These guys are like, it was like basically these guys are off limit. They're like royalty. And I was like, what the heck? You know what I mean? But even back then, you see like these special treatment. I remember going to the land, and I remember driving, like when I would go there, everything would be fine. But then from certain administrators' house, you would hear Biggie playing loud out the house, Tupac. You hear it was crazy times back then, but only certain families had these privileges.
What year was this when you were saying that they? Around what time was this when they were saying that some of these Canada people, the Adams and people like that, were too holy? Like, was this basically, was it pre or post 1999?
It was. I think it had to be pre 1999. It was before. It was when Hassan was around. He's still alive.
Uh-huh.
He was like a teacher. It was before Hussein Adams was really anybody, but it's still like it was weird because they would come to the retreat, but then they would hang out in like the special cabin and not participate with like the rest of the retreat functions. You know what I mean? So it was pre 1999. I was still in high school. So you're looking between 95 and 97.
Okay. So nepotism. I know you mentioned the word nepotism, but I mean, I don't know that any music was allowed to be played like that. I don't see how that's nepotism. That might be just some people doing, some stuff, and maybe they were, maybe other people were doing it
definitely,
too. Maybe they just had the best sound system or whatever. I don't know.
That could be true, but it was definitely nothing happened to them as a result. And I've seen plenty of examples of that through the years and these are my friends, you know what I mean? Like we would get into certain stuff or they would get into certain stuff, be caught. Nothing would really happen because they were a certain Khalifa's son or daughter. While the same thing of another family, you know who they are, the same thing happens. And all of a sudden you hear that they're locked up in the shed, bread and water, these sorts of things.